Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to take a look at the SOG Daggert 2, and this is just a phenomenal knife. If you're looking for a good fighting knife, defensive knife, whether you're a soldier, maybe on a SWAT team, or even just, a good responsible civilian, just looking for a cool fighting knife, I think this is one that you should definitely check out. A very nice looking dagger. And so we're just going to take a look at the knife first, and then we'll talk about the sheath a little bit later. Both are excellent. So let's start with the blade on here. The blade on here is right around 6.5 inches in length, and so that's kind of a good medium-sized fixed blade, and a very formidable weapon. It is double-edged, obviously. It is a dagger. So if you're going to carry this, you got to consider if you want a dagger or if you want a more traditional combat knife, something like maybe like a K-bar style, maybe like a Bowie style. A lot of what you're doing may be utility tasks opposed to actually fighting. So those may be a little bit safer to use. This is potentially a little bit interesting to use as a utility knife. But you could definitely do it, and you have two edges here, so you could use one edge as a maybe utility edge and keep the other edge nice and sharp. So if you decide you want a dagger, it's a very nice shape. It's kind of that more long, slender, extremely sharp knife. It's kind of medium thickness stock, so it's going to be relatively strong, but yet it's still very light and fast in hand. It feels very, very quick in hand. The knife itself weighs 9.4 ounces, so it has some weight to it. It feels solid, but it's mostly weighted in the handle. So the tip moves very quickly. So as we look at the blade a little bit more, obviously you have that very, very sharp point that you would expect on a dagger. As we come back, you have that kind of nice fuller or that relief cut in the center. Looks very nice. They do have a plain edge and then a partially serrated edge. I like that a lot. And if you look at things like the Gerber Mark series, on those they actually serrated the base of the blade on both sides, and I'm really not a fan of that. I like this style a lot better, where you just have one section that's serrated. The serrations are nice for getting through rope and stuff like that. But if I wanted just some more fine carving, more detail-oriented stuff, I like a section of plain edge back here, where I can sit there and really kind of carve and do stuff with that. So I really like the way that they have that set up. The blade on here is made out of Aus 8 steel. Aus 8's a very common steel that SOG uses a lot. It's a good steel. I'd call it, I kind of classify it as kind of like a mid-grade steel. It's going to hold the edge well. It's relatively tough, easy to resharpen. It can rust on you, and I have had Aus 8 steel rust on me before if you're leaving it in really moist environments and just not taking care of it. Now this blade is coated in this very nice black titanium nitride coating, and that will help a lot with rust. And titanium nitride's a good durable coating, and they also offer this knife with a bead blasted blade, and I would steer clear of that version if I were you. It does cost a couple extra dollars to get the version that's all black with the titanium nitride. I think it's worth the money. It's going to protect your steel better. That bead blasting actually opens up the pores of the steel and makes it more susceptible to rust. So it's going to help you with rust, and also I just think the all-black dagger just looks a lot nicer. So, nice coating on there. You will notice it does have some kind of rub marks on there. That is from the sheath. It's just a tight fit, and that's just something you're going to kind of have to live with. To me, it doesn't really bother me too much. This is kind of a functional user for me, so I don't mind. It's not an heirloom. It's not something I'm going to put on a shelf. It's something I'm going to carry around. So those rub marks don't really bother me too much. So as we come back, you'll see this is made in Taiwan. That's a little bit disappointing, especially for somewhat nicer knife like this. But it's built to very high quality standards. If it didn't say Taiwan, honestly, you wouldn't know that it was made in Taiwan. It's made very nicely, and I'm sure they're just doing that just to try to keep costs down as much as they can. So nice markings on there. SOG Daggert 2. You have a nice guard on here. This is a aluminum guard, and it's a good size. It's not huge and overbearing. It's not really, you know, a fighting guard. If you look at things like, you know, Bowie knives and stuff that were made for fighting, sometimes they'll have these big guards that maybe even are meant to like trap the opponent's blade and stuff. This isn't really, you know, a knife that's meant for knife fighting. So you don't need a big guard like that. It's really just meant to keep your hand from slipping up on the blade, and for that purpose, it'll do a great job. As we come back further, you will notice they have a very nice rubberized handle on there. This is a craton material. It's just, you know, good hard rubber. It's got that checkered pattern on there. Gives you a good grip, and should be pretty durable for a good long while. Come back further, you have a nice aluminum pommel with a lanyard hole right there. You also notice that the grip kind of swells in the middle. It's nice and large. It's a really, really well done handle. If you have bigger hands or you're wearing gloves, you're still going to like the feel of this handle. You get a good grip. You're not going to slip up on it. Really well done handle. Look at the back there. You see that it is a full tang design. Now I don't know how they did the shoulders on this blade. It is, you know, as a dagger, it is kind of a more, you know, longer, narrower blade. So I'm not sure as far as strength goes, you know, how strong this will be, especially compared to, you know, survival knives and other fixed blades. You know, you could probably break this if you really, really tried to. You know, if you were batoning this hard or something, you know, if you abused it, I'm sure you could probably break this knife. But overall, it is a fixed blade, and I think it's a fairly strong knife, and especially for the purpose of just, you know, a fighting dagger, I think you're going to be just fine. So it is full tang. You could use that as an impact device. I wouldn't try to nail in nails or anything with that. You're probably going to ding that aluminum up pretty good, but if you want to strike stuff with it, you could definitely do that. So let's take a look at the sheath. The sheath is every bit as good as the knife, and the sheath's probably one of the best factory sheaths that I've ever seen. Phenomenal sheath. This is a Kydex sheath, as you can tell. The knife slides in there, clips in very nicely. If you're just walking around camp or something, I would have no issues just walking around just with that Kydex retention. But if you want to, you can also throw on this strap, and that will give you some more retention. Like if I was going to ride this upside down on a vest or something, or, you know, really be running around or something, I'd want that strap on. So as we look, you know, just going up from the bottom here, you'll notice they do have a drain hole right there. You have some nice eyelets and slots on here, so you can lash this to any piece of gear that you want. I really like these ridges that they have in the sheath. They're just there for strength, just to increase the strength of it, but I think they look aesthetically very nice. So you come up, obviously you've got that strap, and one thing to notice about that strap is when you hit that, look where it goes. It goes to the outsides. You know, sometimes you'll undo the button, and it'll just kind of be like that. You know, it'll just kind of stay up. And if they stay up like that, then when you draw this, you're going to be slicing your strap. And this one, as it is, still has a few minor slices on there. One of the benefits also of this material, they made this material out of kind of like a Hypalon material. It's basically like a kind of a rubberized nylon. And so it's very durable, and even after taking a few strikes from this very sharp dagger, it's still pretty strong. So it folds out of the way, so it's not going to get slashed too much. It's a good strong snap. It stays buckled, stays buttoned when you want it to. Pops open fairly easily. Really nice. And it's totally ambidextrous. You can stick the dagger in either way you want. And you can also flip this around. So if you want the snap on the other side, you can just rotate it, and then it'll go the other way. Now, as we look on the back for your attachment, there is this removable piece. You can notice this does screw on, so if you wanted to, you could take this off. But you have a very nice quick attach method, so you can just stick this on a belt very easily. And this is made by American Sportsman's Products. You just hit that right there, pops open, quick detach. Really awesome. And again, you have that slot there, so if you did want to run a leg strap, you could do that very easily. So just, you know, a perfect sheath, a really nice design for the dagger, and overall, I'm a huge fan. I mean, there's not a lot I can really criticize with this design. So as we talk about price on here, It depends, and the reason I say that is that as far as I can tell, this has been discontinued for 2014. If you go to SOG's website right now, you're not going to see this on their website. At least I didn't. So, you know, if you want one, you're probably going to want to move fast and just try to find a place that has one in stock. This one was purchased on clearance, on closeout, for $50. And for $50, this is a no-brainer. I mean, if you find this for $50, buy it immediately. I mean, that's a phenomenal price. The normal price on these was going somewhere around $100. And I think $100 is a fair price. I don't think that you know, I'd run out to buy it right away at $100, but I think if you pay $100, I don't think you're getting ripped off either. I think you're paying a pretty fair price. So I'll just give you kind of a size comparison to some other just random fixed blades I have here. These aren't necessarily competitive options, but you know, there may be things that you have that you could, you know, compare. So got the SE6, more of a survival knife, but similar size. Kind of see the thickness of the stock on there. Pretty similar. We'll roll out the Ka-Bar Large Heavy Bowie. This is a very large knife. Awesome survival knife. Much bigger, as you can tell. This is, you know, maybe a little bit of a competitive option. It's definitely much cheaper. This is a cold steel Shanghai Shadow dagger. Kind of a cheesy name, made in China. But these will go somewhere 20 to 30 bucks in that price range. A lot cheaper. And they are, you know, a decent dagger, especially for the price. A little bit bigger, much broader blade, as you can tell. I would take the SOG over this one in a heartbeat. But if you're working on a budget, that is a similar product. And it has a really nice sheath, especially for the price point. And finally, we'll just roll in something a little bit smaller. This is the Ka-Bar TDI knife. This is the smaller version. And there you can tell. Alright guys, so if you have any questions at all about the SOG Daggert 2, feel free to leave that down below in the comments. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. If you guys like what you saw in the video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the little like button and subscribe to my channel. I have a lot more knife reviews coming. Everyone have a nice day. And thanks for watching.